Hey there, friend. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here with me today. Today, I want to tell you about the fastest man in football. And the one thing, even at 38 kilometers an hour, he could never outrun.
Picture a bedroom in a small town outside Paris. Every wall covered, floor to ceiling, in posters of one man, Cristiano Ronaldo. A 14-year-old boy lies on the bed, football in his hands, staring up at his hero. He didn't know it yet, but one day he'd have almost everything that boy on the wall had, except the one thing he wanted most.
This is the story of Kylian Mbappé. Kylian was born in Paris in December of 1998, just 5 months after France won its first ever World Cup. His father came from Cameroon. His mother, a professional handball player, came from a family with roots in Algeria. They lived in Bondy, not a wealthy town, a place where a lot of families had come from somewhere else, hoping for something better. Kylian would later describe it simply: "We don't have a lot of money in Bondy, but we have dreams. Dreams don't cost anything."
His father coached at the local football club, so naturally, Kylian grew up on that pitch. It was practically his second home. At 6, he joined the youth team, and immediately something strange happened. He was too good for kids his own age, so they moved him up to play against 10-year-olds. He was still the best player on the field. His coach, a man who'd trained hundreds of children over the years, said something he'd never said about anyone else. Kylian was the best kid I ever coached, probably the best I will ever coach.
There's one match people still remember. Bondy was losing at halftime. The locker room was silent, everyone deflated. Then this small boy stood up and said calmly, "Don't worry, I'll get the ball. I'll score." He went back out and did exactly that. He was 10 years old. By 11, scouts from Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Bayern Munich were showing up in Bondy. Can you imagine that, my friend? A small boy in a small town, and suddenly the biggest clubs on earth are knocking on his door. Just before his 14th birthday, Real Madrid invited him for a visit. His family flew to Madrid, and waiting for them in the parking lot, hands in his pockets, was a tall, calm, smiling man. Zinedine Zidane, the greatest French footballer of all time, standing there to personally welcome a 13-year-old boy from Bondy. Zidane offered to drive him to the training pitch himself. Kylian climbed in, so nervous he could barely speak. Finally, he turned and asked the only question he could think of. "Do I need to take off my shoes?"
Zidane laughed. "Of course not. Get in." Kylian sat there in silence, thinking, "I'm just Kylian from Bondy. This can't be real. I must still be asleep on the plane." That day, he met Cristiano Ronaldo in person, the man whose face covered every inch of his bedroom wall. Real Madrid wanted him badly, but when the family flew home, his parents said no. Too young, they thought. His mother wanted him to still have a normal childhood. His father wanted to protect him. So Real Madrid would have to wait. Neither side knew it yet, but that wait would last 12 years.
At 13, Kylian left home for the first time and joined AS Monaco. He tore through the youth ranks, 10 goals in his first 5 games alone. On December 2nd, 2015, at just 16 years and 347 days old, he became the youngest player to ever appear for Monaco's first team, breaking a record held by Thierry Henry, one of France's greatest strikers ever. He didn't celebrate with a sports car. He didn't move into a mansion. Monaco gave him a small room in the training center, same as any other young player.
He said it best himself. "Footballer doesn't rhyme with Ferrari. I don't have a car. It's not a big deal." Then he exploded. Goals against Manchester City, goals against Dortmund. Monaco won their first league title in 17 years. In 2017, Paris Saint-Germain paid 180 million euros for him, an 18-year-old, the most expensive teenager football had ever seen. He still didn't buy a car.
A year later, the World Cup came to Russia. Kylian was 19, the youngest star on the French team. In the round of 16, France faced Argentina and Lionel Messi. It became one of the greatest World Cup matches ever played. In the 13th minute, Kylian picked up the ball near his own half and simply ran. 60 meters. Defenders tried to grab him. Nothing worked. The only way to stop him was to foul him. Penalty. France scored. Later, with the game tied, Kylian took over completely, slotting one goal under the goalkeeper, then blasting another high into the net just minutes after. France won 4-3. Messi and Argentina were out.
He just joined a club of exactly one other player in history, a teenager scoring twice in a World Cup knockout match. The only other name on that list? Pelé in 1958. Asked about the comparison, Kylian stayed humble. It's flattering to be the second one after Pelé, but let's put things in context. Pelé is another category. France reached the final. Against Croatia, with the score at 3-1, Kylian received the ball 20 meters out and, without hesitation, swept a low shot into the corner. 4-1, game over. At 19 years old, he was a world champion. No teenager had scored in a World Cup final since Pelé, 60 years earlier. The next day, Pelé sent him a message. Just one line. Welcome to the club.
Then, Kylian did something that stunned everyone. Every French player earns money for playing in the World Cup, plus a bonus for winning it, around $500,000 in total. Kylian gave away every single cent. All of it, donated to a charity that helps sick and disabled children play sports. When asked why, his answer was simple. I didn't need to be paid. I was there to defend the colors of my country. A 19-year-old, a world champion, and he gave away $500,000 to kids who couldn't even run.
To really understand Kylian, you have to understand his speed. In 2019, playing against his old club, Monaco, he sprinted past 2 defenders and scored, and the GPS tracker on his shirt clocked him at 38 kilometers per hour. For comparison, Usain Bolt, the fastest human being ever recorded, tops out around 44 kilometers per hour. Kylian is only 6 kilometers per hour slower than the fastest man alive, and he's doing it while controlling a ball, dodging defenders, and deciding where to shoot. He became PSG's all-time leading scorer with over 250 goals. He was, without question, the fastest footballer on the planet. But even the fastest man alive cannot outrun time.
December 18th, 2022, Qatar, the World Cup final, France against Argentina. Kylian against his own PSG teammate, Lionel Messi. The first half was a disaster for France. Argentina led 2-0 at halftime. Kylian had barely touched the ball. Commentators were already writing the story. Messi's coronation, Messi's World Cup. Then, in the 80th minute, everything changed. France won a penalty. Kylian stepped up, ice cold, and scored. 2-1. 97 seconds later, almost too fast to believe, he struck a falling volley from an impossible angle into the far corner. 2-2. In under 2 minutes, France had come back from the dead. Messi answered in extra time. 3-2 Argentina. Seconds away from the trophy. But Kylian wasn't finished. In the 118th minute, another penalty. Same cool head. 3-3. 3 goals in a World Cup final. Nobody had done that in 56 years. The last was Jeff Hurst back in 1966. It went to penalties. Kylian scored his. Argentina scored theirs. The trophy went to Messi. France had lost. The final image of that night wasn't Messi lifting the cup. It was Kylian,
alone on the bench, his shirt pulled up over his face, hiding. He'd scored 3 goals in a World Cup final. He'd won the Golden Boot as top scorer. And he was still a boy who had lost. My friend, that night, Kylian learned something his speed could never teach him. Sometimes you can do everything right and still lose. Here's the strangest part of this story. The fastest footballer alive, 38 kilometers an hour, nobody can catch him, had to wait 7 years to reach the club he dreamed of since childhood. In 2021, Real Madrid offered nearly 200 million euros for him. PSG didn't even respond. By 2022, his contract was expiring, and the whole world believed he was finally going to Madrid. Even he believed it. Real Madrid was already preparing the announcement. Then, at the last moment, he changed his mind.
Inside his own home, a quiet war had been happening. His mother wanted Madrid, his father wanted Paris, and their son sat caught in the middle. He chose to stay. Real Madrid felt betrayed. Some voices at the club said simply, "Move on, forget him." Back in Bondy, someone walked up to a huge mural of Kylian that his own community had painted years earlier. The boy with a dream, the kid from their streets. And with a can of paint, they wrote 4 words across his face. Kawawa. Mbappe, you are dead. Newspapers called him confused, a boy who couldn't decide. The fastest man in football could not outrun time, and could not outrun this moment either. Then, one morning in the summer of 2024, the wait ended. His contract with PSG expired. This time, there was no change of heart, no going back. Real Madrid made the announcement the world had waited 12 years for. Kylian Mbappé was a Real Madrid player. He wrote to the world, "A dream come true. So happy and proud to join the club of my dreams. Nobody can understand how excited I am right now." The boy who once covered his bedroom walls with Ronaldo posters now walked into that same training ground, wearing the very number Ronaldo once wore in his first season at the club. Can you imagine, my friend, walking into that room, knowing the 12-year-old version of yourself is somewhere watching, and you finally know how the story ends? His first season was extraordinary. 43 goals, top scorer in Spain, top scorer across all of Europe. In 2025 alone, he scored 59 goals for Real Madrid, tying a record set by Cristiano Ronaldo himself. The dream wasn't just true, it was working. Today, on the side of an apartment building in Bondy, there's a mural. A young boy lying on a bed, hugging a football, dreaming. And rising above him, like a vision of what he'd become, the same boy, grown up, wearing the shirt of France. At the bottom, one line in French: "Love your dream, and it will love you back." 20 years ago, a boy covered his walls in posters of his hero. Today, other boys cover their walls in posters of him. My friend, the fastest man in football could not sprint his way to his dream. He had to run, and he had to wait. The biggest dreams always ask for both. So keep running when you can, keep waiting when you must. Dreams are patient. They know the way home. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, friend. I'll see you next time.